qual è la prima cosa che pensi se ti dico
marijuana?
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Marijuana, sì.
Marijuana.
Maria.
Ma tu lo sai dove possiamo trovare un po' di marijuana? La marijuana.
Dicono che gli americani non sappiano più coltivare la marijuana buona. Noi diciamo...
Tu fumi l'erba?
Uno o più canne. A seconda di come mi sentivo, quello che mi portava il cuore. Mi portava di farmi una bella canna, me la facevo.
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Okay.
There's tobacco and marijuana in there. That's all it is.
La marijuana è normalmente ammessa in una specie di zona grigia.
La marijuana non è una droga.
No, in un cannabis shop si vendono margherite.
Pianta miracolosa che ha il potere di guarire gli ammalati, calmare i tormentati e accompagnarci nell'era in cui non si è solo teste di cazzo.
Disegno di legge elaborato per la legalizzazione della cannabis.
Viva la droga libera! E io momento, fumi la mia erba!
5 euro, dai, 2 canne, dai.
Uno spinello di droga. Questa è la droga. Vieni, questo. Ma no, ma questa è la terapia, Gianluca. Che botta!
La Maria! La Maria! La Maria! E tutta questa gente fuma!
Io so che nelle neuroscienze un ragazzo che comincia a 13 anni a farsi gli spinelli, a 18 c'ha i buchi nel cervello.
Mi spiace doverlo dire, Chester, ma forse dovremmo smetterla con le canne.
Eh sì, negli ultimi tempi ne avevo viste e sentite di ogni colore sulla marijuana. Ma oggi vi voglio raccontare una storia completamente diversa. Nelle valli californiane, esattamente a Merced, una delle città col più alto tasso di criminalità degli Stati Uniti, delle suore molto speciali coltivano e venerano la loro pianta sacra, la marijuana. Vendono unguenti medicinali ricavati dalla cannabis e con gli anni si sono guadagnate il titolo di regine dell'erba, raggiungendo addirittura $1 milione di profitti all'anno. E io sto andando a incontrarle, sperando che anche delle suore così gangster possano apprezzare un semplice mazzo di rose bianche.
Sister Kate?
Yes, Giuseppe, hi.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hi,
These are
nice
for you.
to meet you too. You came such a long way. Thank you. How lovely. If you don't mind, it's our custom before we bring you in the house to sage. It's a custom we do with all of our guests. It's basically you've been traveling a long way and you have maybe collected some energies that you'd like not to be carrying around. So this is our thing we do. It's Mother Goddess to cleanse and clear this aura, take away any unclinging energies, any negative energies, any energy forces or fields that have attached themselves to this light being. Make sure that he enters our dwelling with love and intention in his heart and with the ability to do the best work to meet the standards of his highest calling, of his highest guardians and angels. And we thank you for bringing him to us safely, Mother Goddess, and bless the journey.
Thank you very much. How a business consultant became a weed nun?
The short answer to that question is how a businesswoman became a weed nun is that I first became a throwaway woman. My husband stole all the money I had worked very hard to earn and save, over $1 million, and he left me penniless with 3 children. I did all the right things. I did all the responsible things. I saved my money and I put it in a bank, and I didn't have my first child till I had this $50,000 in the bank account because I wasn't going to be one of those women who raised her children alone and made all of life became a struggle. And no matter what I did right, it still turned out wrong. And when it turned out wrong and he took all my money and left me poor with 3 middle schoolers, and then I'm in America where there's absolutely zero safety net. I had to build my own safety net. So I turned to the cannabis plant.
Did you know anything about the business? Did you know anything how to grow marijuana?
No, I didn't know anything about it, but I looked at it. I was a deregulating business specialist. I spent 20 years as a business consultant for people who were getting into newly deregulated businesses like energy, telecom, internet. Those were all regulated at some point and then deregulated to allow competition. So I saw hemp and cannabis as a new deregulated business, and those businesses are for the bold. They're not for the weak. They're also businesses that you don't have to be an expert to find a niche to play in.
I don't see plants. I don't see anything here out. Do you have the plants over here? Do you
Yes,
grow?
it's February. We're walking right now where in 6 months there will be plants bigger than both of you and I and very, very fat. So we're walking right now down the lane where we will have about 36 large cannabis plants. But it's February right now. They're little babies growing indoors, and we will grow them up to be 1 foot or 2 feet tall before we put them in the ground here so that they're already kind of hardy and well.
And so now where do you keep them?
In the shop. You want to go see?
Yeah.
Oh ragazzi, sono nel cavo della marijuana di una suora. Ma che diamine sta succedendo? Mi sento come se fossi dentro un film di Tarantino. How much can worth one of those plants?
If this was high THC weed, one of these plants now I could sell for probably $250 or $300. And then when it grows up, it would have about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of medicine. But this is hemp, and it doesn't carry the same, it won't get anybody high, so it has no black market value. You can't turn it over like that. You have to be talking to the people who are making salves and tinctures like us, and we can buy it for much cheaper than we can make it. So we're paying about $150 a pound of high CBD cannabis, and if that same pound was THC, we'd have to pay probably $10,000 for it. More people are growing because more governments are letting people grow. In fact, we sell our seeds and we tell everybody, the women, we want the women to grow it everywhere, on windowsills. We want them to grow it in their front yard and in their backyard because it won't get anybody high and it shouldn't be regulated. And we're learning from it. One woman who grew this plant on her windowsill, she would take the fresh shoots and put them in her salad, and her eyesight got better over time, and she didn't need glasses. There's so much we don't know about this, and our answer to all the science is just let the women grow it and let the women experiment it with it. The men and the children will benefit from their efforts.
Wow.
Hi, Macy.
You said that those plants don't have THC.
Right.
So they have only CBD.
Right.
If I ask you to explain it to me in the simplest way ever, like that also my parents that have never seen a plant of weed, a plant of marijuana could understand. How
Okay.
could you explain it?
The cannabis plant has over 120 healing compounds, medicine compounds in it. All we've ever known is the THC since Richard Nixon made it prohibited.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
So for 100 years, we haven't been able to study the plant. Now, for the last 20 years, we have, and we've discovered that there's a strain of the plant that won't get you high, that heals all kinds of things from migraines to headaches to depression to sleeplessness. The list goes on. The doctors say there's literally nothing that CBD won't help you with. The CBD that has been discovered really in the last 20 to 30 years is powerfully healing. So essentially, science has allowed us to breed plants that are super, super stony. And that's what everybody talks about, how California just bred those plants to be so stony that one hit and you're on your butt. But California has also bred plants that don't get you high at all. Those are the plants that we grow. That's what we smoke, and that's the medicine that we make. It doesn't get you high, but it heals. So the sisters here are taking this from our fall harvest that we've dried well. First they remove all the sticks and shucked into a bowl like this. She's pulling more sticks and plant out, so at the end she gets just seeds. Then that's what she's doing as well. Raquel is pulling seeds out of the plants.
What do you do with the seeds?
You're gonna follow me in the kitchen and we're gonna show you what we do with those seeds. We package them up and we sell them. And we're hoping that women all around the world grow them on their windowsills and in their front yards and in their backyards and help us understand all the different ways this plant can heal people.
Why you keep saying women? Could I do it?
Yeah, you know, we don't stop the men from doing it. We just think there's special, women are connected to the energy of the moon. And I don't know if I told you this, but everything we do here is by moon cycle. Our medicines are made by the cycles of the moon. Our services, our birthdays, our celebrations, our prayer, everything we do is by the cycles of the moon. So women are connected to the moon in ways that men are not. And because of this, we honor them, and also because it's time they were honored. It's been 200,000 years of women being put down, and we feel like we're midwives to the new 200,000 years of this being not about conquering, but about nesting and healing. And so yes, the men will grow, but they'll grow it the way the women do. Medicine? So we have a custom, there's no moon water in here, of crossing ourselves with moon water, and that's what the sconces are for. Okay, this is our holy kitchen where men are rarely allowed in, but it's fine. This is Raquel, she runs the kitchen, and so she can explain, if you would like, what's going on here, what she's doing.
I just poured this out. So this is lettuce.
Okay, let me do this. Never mind.
Okay.
This is our best-selling product. We sell about $50,000 a month of just this. And I studied and made the formula. It was for muscle and joint pain relief. But turns out it helps the hair on a dog that won't grow back from a wound grow back. Hair on people's head grow back. It helps diaper rash, skin burns, earaches, toothaches. I mean, we've pretty much hear everything, and that's why we call it a multi-purpose salve. I use this now instead of a sleeping aid. I rub it on my temples and I go right to sleep.
So if my father is suffering for arthritis,
yes,
this could be good?
Yes. Our number one user of our salve are people who suffer arthritis.
Non ti preoccupare papà, te ne porto un paio.
These are gel caps. There's over 120 healing properties. If you're seriously sick, you need pure plant oil. You need all 121 of those compounds of medicine, whether science understands it or not.
Who could you help with those pills?
The most people that take this are people who have brain cancer or bone cancer or lung cancer, also people going through chemo. We never tell people to stop going to their doctors. Even though we're holistic and we believe in holistic cures, we tell people the doctors have all the good test equipment. So if you have cancer and you're going through chemo, like the people who take pure plant oil, they don't lose their hair, they don't lose their appetite. They tend to get through traditional medicine much more healthy if they're on this. Also, people have reported using our salve successfully during chemo treatments. Doctors have told us, because the skin crawling sensation they get goes away from our salve. Are any of you on pharmaceuticals?
No.
And do you all take gel caps, or just some of you?
Yeah, I take gel caps, and I do double strength oil, so that's good too. And I get a tincture.
Right, so like I take a gel cap every day. They take gel caps when they're sick, right?
Yeah.
They take them when they get sick, so it's like a medicine to help you get better from whatever's ailing you.
And I can sleep.
She takes it for sleeplessness. It's interesting, none of us are on pharmaceuticals, none of us are on high blood pressure medicine, none of us are on pills, right?
Nope.
No one here is on pills.
I read online that you believe that one of the holy oils that the kings brought to Jesus was Hollywood oil.
Yes, absolutely, it's true. There's plenty of evidence on the internet that if you put frankincense and myrrh and leave it open, the internet will give you 27,000 pages of reasons that cannabis oil, and the name for it, doesn't it have a Arabic or an Egyptian name? What was the name for it?
Cannabis
is the ancient name for it, and it's in the Bible.
Do you think that Jesus has ever tried weed?
For sure he smoked weed. He was a feminist. And those things kind of go together, don't you think?
I think so.
Yes. I mean, no one's bullshitting us. We know why he was crucified. He wanted to put women in leadership, and that was not going to be done for another couple 100,000 years.
It's still not happening.
That goes in our oils and our salves. This will not get you high. This is less than 0.3% THC, so all around the world it is considered hemp. Over here we have, this is from a high THC strain. So this is not something we can use for medicine, but the sisters again make our own tinctures for ourselves. The THC business will always be, in my lifetime, in your lifetime, and probably your children's lifetime, a local business. You will always have to think local and do that within borders. We are CBD. 15% of our sales are around the world. The UK, New Zealand, English-speaking countries are top 3-4 markets.
What's your final mission? To open other Sister of the Valley in other parts of the world?
Ultimately, we want to have our salves and our medicines made all around the world under our brand, but we want that done by all independent women-owned businesses. So we want somebody in Italy to say, yes, I want to start a sisterhood here in Italy. We don't want to beg. We don't believe in two things we don't believe in is free labor, and we don't believe in making our sisters beg. We are all very smart women. We can make our own way in this economy, but we have to be treated fairly. And so our mission is that we have an enclave in Italy and an enclave in Spain, that we have enclaves all around the world, and those have begun in places like Brazil and New Zealand and the UK and a Nordic enclave and a Mexican enclave. Those have begun. So now it's time to take a break. Would you like to go with the sisters for our tea and break?
What do you mean exactly for break?
Well, all day long, everybody's been offering you a joint, and all day long you've been saying you can't work if you have one, but now we're going to have an official break, and now I think you might like to taste the medicine.
How can I say no?
You can't. He's going to come in and ask you some personal questions about happiness, and you have to be ready to answer. So you might, oh, here he is.
It's here the party?
This is the party, Giuseppe. You're welcome to be here.
So, I'm a little bit confused because you are living in a monastery way. You are dressing as a nun, and you are calling yourself sisters.
Yes.
But you are not a religious movement.
Yes. We're not just about cannabis. Our bigger mission is to present the people of the planet an alternative to Christianity. Christianity is a patriarchal structure, and it is failing the people. So ultimately, we are using our ancestors, by reaching back to our ancestors and what they believed, by organizing our lives by the cycle of the moon, by having 8 core principles that we live with and live by, that have more to do with loving and caring for each other and loving and caring for the planet than has to do with invisible gods. We will not discuss invisible gods or invisible babies with anybody. We are humble, spiritual women engaging in a practice that was done in every culture for thousands of years before Christianity. We live together, we work together, we pray together, and we take vows. Those are the requirements of a nun. Many people think that we might be an offense to the Catholic nuns, but here's the thing. We are what the nuns of the future will look like. We are coincidentally the nuns of the past. We patterned ourselves after the Beguines, who were the first organized nurses in the castles of Europe in the 800s. They grew hemp, they made cannabis medicines, they made textiles, they ran farms, and they operated stores inside the castle. If people want to pick on me and call me a fake nun or call me a gangster nun or saying that I'm just doing this to get high, go for it. I could care less. They are not part of the interesting thought process that we're focused on. We're focused on the bigger picture of humanity and the planet.
You just spoke about vows. Which vows do you take?
It's service, obedience to the cycles of the moon. So we don't take a vow of obedience to a god or a person or anything. Our vow of obedience is to live our lives by the cycles of the moon, like our ancient ancestors did. And our third one is living simply, because we don't believe anybody should live in poverty. No one should live in poverty. But we always say we can't own a yacht, but if you own one, we'll come visit you on it. We take a vow of activism, that is giving some time every week and month to holding our lawmakers accountable. And we take a vow of chastity, like you said, which does not necessarily mean celibacy, but it does mean privatizing our sexuality. And we take a vow of ecology. So they spell SOLA, service, obedience to the moon cycles, living simply, activism, chastity, and ecology.
Sister Sierra, before you were a nun for the Catholic Church.
I was a Franciscan for about 14 years. And as you're probably aware, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Catholic Church, good, bad, and otherwise. And I saw a lot of it, and I just decided I didn't want to represent that anymore. So there was a little bit of the Me Too movement going on. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors that people don't hear about. So between everything else, I just decided I can serve my Lord and Master, Goddess, back in the world. So I left the Catholic Church, went back to school, and had a wonderful time being a massage therapist, but I always had a hole in my heart, and I always wanted to do something more, because I felt the call to service. And lo and behold, one day, about 3 years ago, I came into contact with our sisters by a YouTube video, and that snatched me. I was like, that's what I want to do with my life. It's not under the patriarchy, and I can smoke a little bit of this. And I thought, wonderful. So I got in contact with her, and I've been here 2 years, and I'm the happiest girl around. I love what I do. I love my sisters, and I'm committed to the vision.
Have you ever smoked a joint before coming here?
I think I smoked my very first joint when I was 13 and a half. I was in a Catholic girls' school. And we decided at a slumber party we wanted to be naughty because the nuns were saying, that is bad stuff. You should not do that. So yeah.
Giuseppe hasn't smoked yet, huh?
No, you can try this.
CBD?
Yes, CBD.
This is the first CBD joint I've ever smoked in my life. I'm not very good with smoking. It tastes different. It tastes a little bit different. Okay, that's the moment I was waiting since months. I'm here with you to ask you, what's the recipe of happiness for each of you?
Happiness is part of contentment, and I think contentment is what I aim for on a daily, and that's having a job that I love doing. I'm cooking for people that are making medicine, that are healing people all over the world. It gives me a sense of gratitude and like I'm doing something for the planet and I'm doing something for the people.
You see my little pot leaf there?
Yeah.
All right. My personal recipe. For the longest time, I wasn't a happy person. I went to a job I hated. I was in a convent that I was stuck in, or seemingly. A couple years ago, my eyes were open to something greater. I came to know Mother Goddess in a way that the Lord Jesus Christ was this big, Mother Goddess is this big. So I walk and I learn and I help. And I think that's what my secret to happiness is. I know something better, and I have a community that's teaching me how to be a good person. And I have the opportunity every day to be a good person. I'm trying. So that's it.
Does playing music make you happy?
Oh yeah,
Playing
heck
guitar,
yeah,
singing?
playing guitar. It's fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
And rolling weed, I love doing that too.
Okay, so my recipe for happiness, I think, is to have the most amount of choices in my life. So that requires some financial stability. That's just the way it is, ladies. We can't just sit around and sing Kumbaya. We have to create wealth for ourselves. My recipe for happiness requires balance. It's a walk that I'm walking to, which is a very balanced day where, you know, there's routine and it has all the things in it that I love in that day, and being able to afford a lifestyle that allows me to organize a day where I can have music in that day, or I can have reading, or I can have art and painting, but I can do creative things. And I believe those things are important to harmony in your tribe and harmony in your life.
Questo sarebbe un finale perfetto. Le suore mi hanno appena regalato una riflessione meravigliosa. Anche quando il mondo ti crolla addosso come è successo a loro, puoi sempre trovare una nuova ragione per essere felice. E loro l'hanno trovata in questa profonda sorellanza. Ma invece, per colpa di, in questo caso dovrei dire uno scherzo da suore, sono stato più sincero del solito. E il finale deve essere per forza un altro.
I don't know why you make so much effort for your answer when the answer was exactly in front of you. Absolutely, your joints are the source of happiness because
He's saying that it doesn't matter what we did.
Yeah.
We could be cleaning toilets, we could be shoveling shit, and because we have good weed on our table, we're all going to be like, oh, we're living happily ever after and we have no complaints. You might be right.
and I feel happier too. I don't know why, because it should be only CBD, but I feel.
Who told you that was only CBD?
Him.
Was it? Totally THC.
You believed him?
Dude,
You lied?
believe Rudy.
I got the wrong bag, I think.
This is the second time you did this. You did this with the chocolate cake to Sophia. Poor Sophia was up all night rocking on the sofa.
Because she didn't know there was THC in the chocolate cake. You can't listen to Rudy. You gotta ask the teacher.
Rudy, what do you
He
do?
would never do that. He's like a THC cherry.
Aveva tutta la pianta giorna, aveva tutta la casa verde, qui orai tutto bene. Aveva tutta la casa verde, aveva tutta la pianta giorna.
Questo è l'episodio più pazzesco che abbia girato durante il mio viaggio. Ci sono così tanti retroscena dietro questa puntata che non potevo raccontarveli oggi. Ma settimana prossima voglio fare una live nella quale vi racconterò tutto quello che si può raccontare. Comunque le suore sono state meravigliose con me. Mi hanno veramente trattato da Dio. E vorrei mandare un bacio enorme a Sister Kate e Sister Sierra che mi hanno viziato quando sono andato a trovarle. E tra le tante cose che mi hanno regalato ci sono questi, che sono dei semini speciali del loro orto. E io voglio regalarli a uno di voi. E non solo questo, voglio regalarvi anche la maglietta speciale del progetto Happiness dedicata alle sorelle. Quindi facciamo un contest. Per partecipare dovete andare sulla mia pagina Instagram, commentare l'ultima foto nella quale ci sono io che fumacchio con le sorelle e taggare 3 dei vostri amici. Settimana prossima, che è il 20 aprile, la giornata mondiale della marijuana, estrarrò in diretta su YouTube il vincitore. Quindi ci vediamo qui su YouTube tra 7 giorni esatti per scoprire chi ha vinto.